Hey, boys and girls, back with chapter 13 of our Gordon Corman's The Hypnotists. We are now learning about the different risks that happen when you are linked to someone, when Jax or anybody is linked to someone to hypnotize them. See, Corrado's Pizza on Lexington Avenue was right around the corner from the Institute. The mind-benders considered it their place, and there might have been some truth to that. Wilson bragged that he had once bent Corrado himself, demanding thinner crust and less oregano in the sauce. While no one could confirm whether or not this was true, the food was good, the service quick, and the prices affordable. Jax ate there most Thursdays when both his parents tended to work late, leaving him on his own for dinner. He was just enjoying his second slice when he became aware of that water down the wrong pipe feeling in his mind. It didn't alarm him anymore. He was used to it, a stirring in his brain, faint at first, but growing in intensity until it oozed all the way down his spine. He had long since learned to recognize the sensation that someone was trying to hypnotize him. Soon, the random motion began to feel directed, like an intelligent force was vying for control. His first instinct was to look around for somebody else from Sienta. Technically, the hypnos were forbidden to bend one another, but in reality it happened a lot. Enforcing such a ban would be like trying to outlaw towel snapping in a locker room. The Lancaster Seans did more work on each other than the actual Institute research. The two cousins knew just when to back off before the link became obvious to Ray or Ms. Samuels. As far as Jax could tell, they never risked it in front of the director himself. Jax frowned. At that moment, he was the only one of Mako's young protégés in the shop. His eyes fell on a slight, rounded man in his 60s with rosy cheeks and long gray hair tied back in a ponytail. His expression was so friendly, so non-threatening, that Jax scanned past him several times, certain that no hypnotic power could be coming from him. Yet the probing continued. Jax considered his other suspects. There was a lady at the corner table, lost in the depths of a thick paperback novel. A college-age girl slumped over her slice, seemingly fast asleep. Two men in suits were heated in an argument over a basketball game. It had to be the little guy, no question about it. Well, Jax wasn't a novice anymore. At Sienta, he was working with Dr. Mako, the best in the business. He didn't have to be afraid of some plaid-shirted grandpa yokel. Jax wielded his gaze like a weapon, transfixing the little man. The pip image of himself came immediately, almost in a flash. "Go away," Jax said quietly but very clearly. He was gratified to see the old man get up and rush out of the pizzeria, ponytail bouncing. "Nice work," he commended himself, impressed by his skills. Too bad Dr. Mako hadn't been around to see it. That thought kept him content through his dinner, and he left Corrado's in an excellent mood. "You packed quite a wallop, my young friend," came a voice from the storefront next door. Jax wheeled. It was the little man who tried to hypnotize him, his eyes darkening through the blues towards the purple. Jax tried again, focusing on all his concentration on the target, just as Mako had taught him. The man flinched and then grinned. "See what I mean? That's a real haymaker. I can always tell a fellow Sandman." "Sandman? Don't know what you're talking about, mister." The old guy chuckled. "Sure you do. Brain jockey, dreamweaver, mindbender. Whatever Elias Mako is calling us these days." Jax hesitated. It was easy enough to accept that there were random people who had mesmeric powers. Up until a few weeks ago, he had been one of them, bending strangers without even understanding what he was doing. But this old man was different. He knew about Mako, and that Jax was connected to him. I think you've got the wrong guy. Just because Mako treats his charm school like a top-secret operation doesn't make it one. All you have to do is stand next to the elevator and see who goes to the top 3 floors. The man grasped Jax's hand and shook it. "Where are my manners? I'm Axel Braintree, president of the Sandman's Guild." Jax was stunned. "There's a guild? How many hypnotists are out there?" Braintree shrugged. "Could be millions. Most of them never know their abilities exist. They're nothing to worry about. The power's too weak to make any difference. But someone like you, Jackson Opus, that's another tin of sardines. There are perhaps half a dozen salmon on this earth with a gift equal to yours, if that many. For all I know, you're unique. Jax bristled. How do you know my name? The guild takes an interest in Dr. Mako's flying circus. I'd like to find out about all his army. To be honest, most of you are not very impressive. Generally, we Sandmen are a lot more boring than people think. But when I did my research on you, needless to say, that really shingled my roof. Yeah, I know about the Opuses, Jack said. My dad doesn't have the power, though. Braintree nodded wisely. It skips a generation sometimes and comes back even stronger the next time around. My father was hoping it was just, it went away. He wasn't too happy when I got it. But surely he was expecting it, Braintree said with a frown. After all, he did marry Monica Woodson. So what? Mom has nothing to do with this. The guy was amazed. Not possible. Are you trying to tell me that your father didn't know the true identity of his wife-to-be? Jax was growing impatient. He knew exactly who he was marrying. My mother. Braintree flushed with the effort to get his point across. Monica Woodson, Monica Opus, is a Sparks. And if there was a clan with an even greater hypnotic legacy than the Opuses, it's the Sparks family. No way, Jax exploded. My mother has no special powers at all. She can't even make the blender work. She didn't have a clue about Dad's family until Dr. Mako got him to confess. That's understandable. The Sparks' mesmeric abilities has eroded down through the generations. They were no less capable than the Opuses, but they were different, wealthier. Nobility, even royalty. It was said that an Opus could bend a butcher to get free pork chop. Not so with the Sparks' line. They were great Sandmen, but to them the gift was an art form for entertainment and to do good works. A luxury, not a necessity. It might have been this difference that allowed their power to dissipate. You mean, like, use it or lose it? Jax's head was spinning. You're a quick study, Braintree approved. The Sparks' gifts might have disappeared entirely if a Sparks girl hadn't, by sheer random chance, married an Opus. And that makes you the nexus of the two most powerful bloodlines of the history of hypnotism. Jax went silent for a long time. Mom never mentioned a family named Sparks, and neither did Dr. Mako. The round, pink face turned grave. I guarantee you that Dr. Mako knows everything I know, and more. If he's withholding information, it's because he doesn't want you to realize how special you might be. Watch out for him. He's a dangerous man. Oh, sure, Jax exclaimed in outrage. Dr. Mako only has his own institute and hangs out with the world leaders and movie stars. But I can't trust him. Nope. I have to trust some hobo who tried to hypnotize me in a pizza joint. How stupid do I look? Braintree was unflappable. I know it's a lot to take in. He produced a business card and handed it to Jax. He scribbled down an address in the West Village onto the back. The Sandman's Guild is having a meeting next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. It might be an eye-opening experience for you. And that's quite a pair of eyes you got, by the way. There were Opuses like that, green to purple in 10 seconds. See you then. He melted into the passing parade on Lexington Avenue, leaving Jax fuming in front of Corrado's. Jax's mind sizzled. He wasn't going to any of Sandman's meetings. That was for sure. All right, so now we found out that Jax's mom has a history of hypnotism in her family, as does his dad. Do you think his dad knew that when he married his mom? Bye, guys. See you next time.